Welcome to episode 2 of Assistance in Getting Your Bird Back. So in the first episode I talked about things to do before you fly your bird, but in this particular episode I'm going to talk about things to do if your bird is sitting in a tree or up high somewhere that you can't get to and you're trying to get the bird down. Well, firstly, it really helps if you know your bird really well, because then you can look at the way it's behaving, you can think about things it may have done before when you've been flying the bird, and you might be able to figure out a plan of action from that. When you look at the bird, you need to think about, is it looking at you when you're offering it food? Does it look interested? Is it fast asleep? And kind of go from there. Firstly, if your bird is falling asleep, it's standing on one leg, its eyes are closing, and this can happen with owls sometimes up trees, then it's a bit of a waiting game. I found in the past that if a bird does fall asleep in a tree, if you wait long enough, when the bird wakes up, it usually comes down almost straight away because it's had that nap, it's suddenly kind of refreshed itself, kind of hungry, and it will come back down to you. And it also will allow it to forget whatever may have spooked it in the first place, in my experience. Now, if your bird is looking interested in the food you're offering, be it on the glove or to a lure or on a perch, the best tip I can give you here though is to not do what you'd think you would do, which is to stand there offering it food constantly for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 4, 5, 6 hours, however long it is, thinking that, well, as long as I'm here offering the food, eventually this bird will fly down. The reason not to do it quite like that is because your bird may look at you down there and think to itself, well, he's not going anywhere, she's still got the food, they're not really gonna disappear on me, I can sit here as long as I want to. So it's actually beneficial to try and offer some food and then to walk away, give it a break and come back, hoping the bird will think, oh, I've got food, oh, they've gone, oh, right, oh, okay. Maybe I should have gone for it then. So when you return, the opportunity has brought itself back again and your bird hopefully is more likely to then come down for it. Now, if you are on your own doing this and you move away to give it a break, you've got to make sure you can still see your bird in case it moves. If you have got any friends with you helping, then ask them to stand in different spots, maybe one on the other side of the tree if you've got a couple of people, one on this side, you on this side, keeping an eye on where the bird is. Give it a break for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the bird really, and then go back and offer it again. Now, whatever you're trying, let's say you're offering food on the glove, if that's not working, try something else. You could try throwing food on the floor. Now, be careful here because the bird may go down, steal the food, back up the tree again, and all that's happened there is it's eaten a bit more food, not quite as hungry, but you're back to square one with the bird up a tree. So this is where a lure could be really useful. If you don't have a lure, a long piece of string is good enough to tie around the food and throw that down, hoping the bird will see the food but not really see the string and will land on it. And the general principle is once a bird's got some food, it's very reluctant to let go of it. Now, if that works, it goes down to a lure. It's sometimes a good idea to slowly approach the bird and pick it up, or you could slowly bring the bird in on the lure, sliding across the floor till it's closer to you. I say this because some birds might not like it if you approach them, even if you approach them very, very slowly. So bear that in mind. If you try moving forward and the bird goes back up again and has let go of the food, hopefully not stolen any of it, try the same technique again, but this time bring it in very slowly. So there is a bit of trial and error sometimes with this kind of thing. Another way you could do it is to offer food on a perch of some sort. I'll give you a good example actually of where this worked really well. I was flying a barn owl once at a venue some years ago, and it got spooked by some magpies and it flew off over a tree line into a graveyard, and it was sat up on a tree in this old graveyard. I tried offering some food and it probably would have come down to me eventually, but I was keen to get moving and get on, so I thought to speed things up I'll hide behind the gravestone and offer it a chick, which you can see just above the gravestone. The bird saw just the chick. They're not necessarily that clever to think, oh, you're hiding behind the gravestone. Remember, with birds of prey, what they can't see doesn't scare them. So I hid the bird came down within 20 seconds. I was able to get hold of the flying jesses quickly and get the bird back. And this brings me on to the last point when it comes to getting a bird back. If it is sat there, but you're worried that approaching it, it's going to move. So let's say it was up a tree, but it's come down to the perch, or it's come down to a wall or the ground. You've got to really sneak up very, very slowly to not let the bird be spooked, and then if it stops and looks at you, you need to just stop yourself and then move in and get the bird as quickly as you can. If it's got flying jesses on or anklets, it's a case of just getting hold of that or getting hold of the legs and you've got the bird back. The other way of doing it, if it lands on the floor in front of you, is just to grab it very, very quickly, which I have done with some of my birds. In fact, Eva, my Canadian great horned owl, who I've had since she was 2 weeks old, and she's now currently 11 years old, we only fly her now if we have a free evening. And this is because about 1 in 20 shows or so, she'll fly up a tree, and when she does that, there's a risk she'll be there for hours. But she is a diurnal owl, which means she's awake naturally during the day, and she is a bit therefore scared of the dark. So she's never been out overnight before. So if that ever happens, the worst case scenario is we have to stay there until it gets dark. And of course, in summer in the UK, it can be light till gone 10:30 at night in the middle of June. So if it happens to be then, you are waiting for quite a while. Okay, this next episode in this 3-parter is tips on how to find your bird if you've no idea where it is.